Hello and welcome back. So today's topic is functions in JavaScript. It's a very important topic as a function is a set of instruction or a block of code that is designed to deliver a task. And a function is only executed once it's called or something invokes it. This is the way that a function block is executed. And we will talk about how to declare and call a function, about parameters and return values in functions. We will talk about anonymous functions and function expressions. Please make sure that you are doing the tasks by your own along with the course. This way it will help you to understand the functions better and easier. Okay, let's talk about how to declare and call functions in JavaScript. It's very simple. We need function keyword for the declaration of a function, followed by the name of function, let's say myfunc, then open close parentheses, and followed by the function block. And whatever you write inside this block, it will only get executed if the function is called. So let's say I have a console log here. I am a function. Now if I run this script, I get nothing on the screen. Why? Because we have not called the function. This is how you declare and define a function. This is your function declaration, and these are whatever you have inside this block. This is called your function body, and this set of instructions is only executed if you call the function. And how you call the function, it's simple. You use function name, myfunc, open close bracket, parentheses, and then run. You have this. Now, the very important thing about functions, and it's a powerful feature of function, is that you can reuse your functions. And it's very simple. You just call them as many times as you like. In this case, I called it 4 times, means that I use this function 4 times, and we just called it. And this is how functions are important and powerful in order to make your code reusable, to reuse your code whenever you want it. Okay, let's talk about parameters and return values. Let me copy this, paste it here. And by definition, parameters are inputs that the function uses to perform operations. And those parameters are defined inside the function parentheses when you declare the functions. And inside the function block here, then those parameters are used just like any other variables. Let's see this in action. Okay, if I have a function add numbers, now here I can pass parameters to it. I would say n1 and comma n2. Then inside the function block here, I can use these parameters just like normal variables. And what I can do, I can just directly console log n1 plus n2. Now if I call this function add numbers with 2 values, I would say 4, 5, and I should get 9 in the console log. In this example, we are not returning anything back to the calling function, right? We call the function here. The function does the operation, take 2 values as the arguments, add them, and just print them to the console. But let's see how we can actually return the resulting of the operation back to the calling function. Let me just comment this one and create another function. This time we subtract, and now I have n1 comma n2. Here I would use the return keyword in functions, and that return keyword then returns the resulting value back to the calling function. Here the value would be after an operation of n1 minus n2. So the result of this expression, which is a new value, will directly get returned to the calling function. Now let's call this function subtract numbers, and here I have 5, 2. Now let's see what happens. I run the script, I get nothing. Why? Because the subtract numbers returned a value, but we did not do anything with this new value. Now this returns a value, we can store it into a new variable. Let r is equal to the result of this function call. And now we can console log it. If I run this script now, I get 3 onto the console. So this is how you return values back to the calling function using the return keyword in JavaScript. Let's have another example, but this time with the default argument to the parameter. Let's say I have another function. Let me just comment this one. I will have another function called greet, and this function takes an argument as name, and I would make a default value for this parameter, and that one will be stranger. Now I console log. Here I just use string concatenation hello plus name. Now if I run the function or call the function, let's say greet, and I do nothing, let me console log it. I call the function without a parameter because we have a default argument here, right, for this parameter. So if you don't pass anything, then the default value is used. I call the function without passing a name, I get stranger as the default value to this one, and it's concatenated with hello, and we get it back on the screen as a message. But let's say now I call the function with a name, this time Zora. Now if I run this, first time we called it without a name, we got stranger, and now we get the name that we passed. This is how you can define default parameters inside function declaration, right? You could also, what you could do, let's say I would change this function to, let me just comment this one and copy greet 2. This time I return the value, right? Return hello plus name. And now what you could also do when you call the function greet 2 without getting the result into a new variable rs1, we could actually directly, because we are printing the value to the screen, right? We could just directly say console.log greet2. Now I get a stranger, and because the function called inside the console log, and console log prints the value that is returned by greet2 function, right? Let's say I pass something here now, and this is how it works. Okay, let's talk about anonymous functions in JavaScript. An anonymous function is a simple function without a name. So here, in this case, we have greet2 as the name, greet as the name of the function, but in anonymous function, we don't have a name for the function. Let's see it. We have function keyword, directly we have parentheses, we don't have name, and the function body, console.log hello world. Now, if you try to run this, you are actually unable to do it because there is no name to call a function. And we have already defined that a function is only executed when you invoke it. And the way that you invoke a function is with the function name. But since here is no function name, how would you call it? And if I run the script, I get this error as well, that function statement must have a name. And here it comes the function expressions that helps to have anonymous functions. This is by having let me do it here. Let's say that I have let create 3 equal to. Now with this function expression, we use the function as an expression, but function is anonymous, right? The anonymous function, we assigned it to a variable called greet3, and now we have the opportunity to call this function. If I now run this script, I get no error. See, there is no error because the function is now a valid function. But how do you call it? It's simple. We use greet3, open close parentheses, and here we have the output. Okay. This is a function, anonymous function using a function expression. But let's see what else we could do with the function expression. Let's say I have a function, say hello, for instance, and I just console.log it, hello. Right? Now this is a valid function. It has a name and we can call it by name. But you could, using the function expression, you could actually assign this function into a say hi, or let's say hello. It's fine. Now we actually stored or assigned the normal function. This time it's not anonymous, it has a name. The normal function into a variable. And now what we could do, we could actually call it this way. Say hello and open close parentheses. Now we have this, right? This is how you use anonymous functions in JavaScript. That's it for today's episode. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Feel free to drop your question in the comment section below. Till our next session, happy coding.